All right. Everything good on your side, Asil?
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar here tonight. It's always such a pleasure. It's one of the things I really enjoy every single week about the job that I get to do here in Kazakhstan is being able to work with American Corners Kazakhstan, specifically here partnered in Nur Sultan with ASEAL for all the wonderful type of opportunities that we want to bring to everyone. And tonight, we're continuing along with something a little bit different. So over the past month or so, I've been providing webinars that have been geared towards English teacher training. Now we're focusing on specifically International Education Week. And today's title here, A Virtual Tour, Educational Opportunities in the US. Okay. So for those of you that may not know of me, again, my name is August Garnzi, and as Asil mentioned, I'm the English Language Fellow here in Nur Sultan. I've been here for almost about a few months now. And you can kind of see some of my responsibilities as an English Language Fellow, my partnership and work here locally at the university at Gumilev Eurasian National University in the Foreign Languages Theory and Practice Department, working with undergraduate and graduate students. In addition to also my work with the Access Program, another U.S. Department of State program providing fantastic opportunity for English language education and cultural enrichment for teens all across Kazakhstan, as well as other types of various teacher trainings and other cultural and community engagement events. Before, I used to be an international English teacher for NISH in Kokshetau. So I used to be living in Kokshetau. For those that may be from Kokshetau, yes, I miss you guys in Kokshetau. Okay. So before we get into it, and tonight we have some great guest speakers that I've invited to have a real wealth of experience and knowledge that can really apply to a wide range of us. And so before we get to their experiences, just what is, International Education Week that I mentioned? And this is so throughout this week, the United States Department of State and the Department of Education, it's an initiative that they put basically, it's an opportunity to celebrate the benefits of international education and exchange worldwide. Now, obviously, we're focused here on this wonderful and amazing partnership between our two countries of Kazakhstan and the US. Now, international education should be a part of every student's academic career, every professional's career, and especially educators, globalized classrooms, international exchange. This provides teachers an ability to experience new perspectives and to learn how to adapt to, unexpected circumstances. And they get to, expand their understanding of collaboration, working with a real wide range of peers and individuals to be able to communicate across cultures and through different languages as well. And for students, these experiences will help prepare, for global job markets, to help prepare you and provide you with specific types of critical thinking skills and other type of in-demand type of skills, for the world's toughest challenges. And academic exchanges and teacher training are just some of the examples of the many education diplomacy agreements between our two great countries that promote economic growth and social prosperity through collaboration. Now, my experience with international education, I do have some experience, obviously. So, in addition to me actually living and working in Kazakhstan, which has been an absolute amazing experience as a fellow so far, as a virtual fellow last academic year, and then the previous year before that, living and working in Kokshetau at NISH. So I've had quite a bit of experience already now in Kazakhstan, and it's been a pleasure. Now, before Kazakhstan, I got to work very closely and specifically with adult international students in Chicago, a very large, well-known city in the US, in the great Midwest part in the state of Illinois. And a lot of these adult international students all had various reasons for coming to the US. They all had different types of academic, professional goals that they wanted to achieve, and everybody's path is really different. And the one thing that I really want to emphasize is that it's not only just about what's in it for me when you go to the US, because keep in mind that, I'll be honest, a lot of Americans, Kazakhstan is still kind of an unknown place to them, and that's going to be on you. Those that go to the US, you are cultural ambassadors, and it's a very important role that you have, that you play in this collaboration between our countries and building of understanding and prosperity between us. Okay, so it's actually, you have a lot of responsibility as, whether you're an exchange program or you're going there for work to the US, or you're even just traveling. Okay, you represent Kazakhstan, just as I represent the US here in Kazakhstan. Okay, all right, guys. So you're going to hear a lot of good experience and how our guest speakers, the programs that they did, the exchange programs, or how they, their pathway to the US. Now, some of you are wondering where to begin. So I'm just going to put a few links into the chat here in a moment. You can see these links on the screen. The first one, which is a great place for you to start looking for any kind of opportunity, is with the US Embassy here in Kazakhstan. A listing of various education, cultural programs. Sometimes you need to take steps or just to get involved in initial types of programs, whether they're online or virtual as well, that maybe can help build, your understanding, your skills, your experience, prepare you maybe then for in-person type of exchanges or other types of academic goals or journeys that you'll take. Open, the online professional English network, provides online virtual opportunities, whether it's academic study, language development, professional skill building. There's opportunities for you to be able to engage, Americans or other foreign colleagues, peers, counterparts through opportunities there. And as well as the Regional English Language Office for Central Asia, there's additional opportunities that are promoted through Relo, and you can follow them through Facebook. Okay, and again, I'll put these links into the chat for all of our many participants tonight. So for some of you, maybe this is where your search will begin for more information. Okay, so now our guest speakers tonight, got some great speakers for you. We have Aygrim, who's coming actually from the US right now. So it's morning time for her. And so she's going to tell you a little bit about what she does and where she's been. Timurlan, and as well as Janat. Okay, so three individuals that have kind of some different pathways and different experience to share with you. Aygrim, are you with us right now?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and since you're all set up, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. We're just going to kind of go in order. Timurlan can speak next, then Janat after Timurlan. So I'll go ahead and pass it to you, and you can just tell them a little bit about yourself and then what you would like to share about your experience. So thank you, Aygrim. It's going to be all yours. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Go.
So let me just a minute to, I'm so sorry. Now it is 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the US, in place where I'm reaching out now. My name is Aygrim Aktas. I'm from Kostanay region. Right now I'm working and teaching at University of Georgia as a Fulbright foreign language teaching assistant. This academic year was very special for me because I had an opportunity to represent my culture, to represent my language here in American university community. And I'm very so proud of it. I'm very so glad for that. It is really a good experience for me, and I understand all the responsibility that I'm carrying out here. As a representative of Kazakh culture and the Kazakh language, I get involved in many activities such as like presenting Kazakh music or presenting Kazakh language and so on. So now I would like to show you some moments where I presented kind of music. Can you hear me? Recording. That event was dedicated to Kazakh traditional music instruments. I can play qobuz and dombra, which is very special for Kazakh people, and American academics and my colleagues and students, they were very surprised to hear sound of qobuz, sound of dombra, and they were very interested, they were very engaged in that. So when you are out of your country, when you are in host university, if person can represent his culture, it is a great asset for that, for the person. And also, this is a garden which is near my department where I work. So in Georgia, the weather and the nature is very awesome. And I enjoy, for example, taking a walk while I have a break. And it was in August. And also the city where the university is situated called Athens. This is near Atlanta. And this is Botanic Garden where we with our colleagues, we are used to walk around in weekends. So I would like to let you know that working or teaching or studying in host university is not just sitting in a library whole day, but you can also enjoy your free time. And also, this is a big campus. So University of Georgia is a big university, is a public university, which was created in 1785. And this is one of the first universities that serves as a public school. And also the university facilities, kind of library or learning centers, they serve for not only for students, but also for scholars, which came from international, from other countries. Here with my colleague from Russia and with previous FLTA, but now she returned to earn her PhD degree. Olbosan, she's from Kazakhstan too. We were working on our project in a learning center.
I'm sorry, Aigerim. Sorry for interrupting. We see only a folder with pictures, not pictures themselves.
Oh, sorry. Can you see now the whole picture? No?
No, only the folder.
Okay.
Perhaps you
And
should
now?
give a permission. Yeah, we do now. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to. Okay. And also this is a picture of my department. I work in Slavic and German languages department and also Russian flagship program, which provides great opportunity for American students to travel to pass a capstone year in Kazakhstan, in Kazakh National University right now, where I worked at previous time. And here, also as a Fulbright scholar, I'm eligible to take 2 disciplines per semester. And I took TESOL and World Languages course on a no credit basis. So I should take I should take a part in class discussion, also so this is kind of a good opportunity for me because I can feel American, I can feel as an American student here. So here are my group mates who are from different parts of the world. Oh, sorry. And also presentation process. I presented also Kazakh languages, which were very exotic for them. They have never seen or they have never heard before Kazakh speech, Kazakh language. So they were very excited. And also here, some moments. I would like to let know our students that studying in US is not just a kind of hard work or you should focus only on study, but also you can enjoy some little moments spending in American University. And here are waterfall, which we visited during the weekend. And bulldog, this is a symbol of UGA, University of Georgia. They are very keen on American football, and each weekend they hold American football match, and the symbol of the American football is bulldog. You can find a lot of souvenirs or symbols, logos with that his face. This is a big stadium, which is called Sanford Stadium, where American football matches hold every weekend. One of the buildings of the UJ. And also I give not only face-to-face or in-person classes, I also take virtual classes because of COVID pandemic. American students has a choice to take some online classes. So here are my colleagues today when I presented Kazakh culture. Also, I go to the gym. So here is a downtown of the city where my university is situated. So that's it. If you have questions, you are welcome.
All right. Well, thank you, Aygrim. Yeah, we appreciate the insightful information into your program, and that the program, it's a lot more, and it's a lot of what you make of it. And definitely you provided some great examples of how I mentioned previously that you have a very important responsibility. Anyone from Kazakhstan that goes to the US has a very important job of honestly, of diplomacy, and also of being a cultural ambassador, because Kazakhstan, as great as Kazakhstan is, it's still kind of an unknown country to many Americans, and so Aygrim, fantastic, seeing what you're doing there at the University of Georgia. And yeah, the Bulldogs, they're #1 right now, ranked #1 for college American football. So it's a real big thing there. I'm sure she's learned a lot about American football there in the college system, and it's a huge thing in the US. Collegiate sports is huge in the US. So it's another thing that you can take advantage of while you're there in the US, through some type of partnership or any kind of program of study that you're doing or work. I was looking for questions in the chat, and I see that there are asking about additional opportunities specifically for Fulbright. Definitely there are more Fulbright opportunities, including for professors as well. There's a couple of different types of tracks for basically like research exchange as well. And I've known participants from Kazakhstan that have been over to the US professors that have done that. So there's opportunities for professors, there's opportunities for English language teachers, or for other teachers for teaching Kazakh culture or other various types of language programs in the US through like the FLTA program. I did put the link in earlier. I'll put the link in again for programs and opportunities through the US Embassy here in Kazakhstan. It's a great place to start for additional information. There you can find probably the basic type of stuff for criteria or things like that for these types of exchange programs. So again, I'll put that link into the chat right now. And I see there is another question here about, was it your first try? I think it's a good question. Yes, Igarim, question for you is, was this your first attempt to apply for the FLTA, or was this a second or maybe a third attempt in applying for the program?
Actually, it was from my second attempt, because first attempt I was working at school, and I wasn't so competitive as I thought, and my application was rejected. But the second time I was accepted.
All right, excellent. So, and honestly, a lot of the exchange programs I've known of other teachers or other participants, they didn't give up the first time, and that's really good advice, Iram. So thanks, for being honest and letting us know that honestly, guys, a lot of these programs are very competitive. But again, if you don't exceed the first time, keep trying, but try to make yourself more marketable. Try to improve upon potentially your application and your responses. So that's really good advice. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and move over to our next invited guest speaker. So we're going to kind of shift things a lot into a different direction towards a different maybe range within our audience, since we have a very wide range of participants here tonight with various different types of backgrounds at various different stages. So Timurlen is going to come in and tell about his experience in the US, his program, the impact that it had on him as well. So Timurlen, it's going to be all yours, man.
Okay, thank you very much now. If I could share the screen for a minute. So yeah, thank you. So I'm basically a Flex program alumni. Flex program is a Future Leaders Exchange program, which is meant for people like us, students, especially scholar students, to share their experiences, to share their culture with other people, and just to the US students gain more knowledge about some other countries. So Flex is not only a Kazakhstan program, it's also in Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Moldova, and other countries in the Central Asia. So actually, for the International Educational Week, while I was in the US, I made up a presentation about Kazakhstan, as you can see on this photo right here. And everybody was super excited about it. I mean, it was so hard for me to not make any mistakes, because I was as August earlier said, the ambassador of Kazakhstan, and I just didn't have a chance to make any mistakes. I had to be perfect so that they would have a perfect, clear picture of Kazakhstan. So that's what I tried to do. I made a presentation about it. They liked it. They really enjoyed it. I gave them some our traditional meals. I bought some chocolate with me. I even had some of my friends over and made beshparmak. So they really liked it. They said it was like unhealthy, but I was like, well, you eat McDonald's every day. I don't think that's like any different from that. So, and for the next, to not make any mistakes, of course, I've been doing lots of sports there. I've been doing cross country. I've been climb digging, which was really fun for me. I even bought a license for climb digging that costed me like $120 for a month, I think. I bought a shelf, I bought a special costume, and was just having fun. Then I've been wrestling, which was a lot of fun too. I even got a 6th place in the districts out of 20 students, and it was like really good achievement for me at that time. Then I've been doing some golf. I loved golf so much that for now, my goal in life is to get rich as much so I could get a membership for the Astana Golf Club. Then I learned how to ride a helicopter. So for that program, you go in family, and my host dad was a pilot himself. He worked at the Coast Guard, and one day he proposed me to fly with him. I was like, well, okay, well that would be fun. So then he put like me in the front seat, and I was like, are you sure about this? But of course he wasn't sure, but he made me sign this document that said that I would have anything against him if the plane like crashes or anything. So well, I guess it was risky, but I was pretty certain in him. That's why I signed it and just flew over the coast. It was really great. Also, my host family were Christians, and they do not force you to gain some religion or change your religion, but they do like they did not force me to go to church, but I did because I liked it myself. There's lots of people, basically all of my friends did go there every Sunday morning, and that's why I did kind of the same too. And it was really enjoyable for me to look at this all holy people singing together and praying together. Then this is they have a home week season, which is a 1 week traditional homecoming, when every and blah blah blah. They come back at school and they party that time when they get back to school. This is what I've been doing with my friend. This is me. That's my school. We were making like a dragon part. So I was a senior there. Seniors are last year students, and this like we made a dragon hole in there. So this is basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Well, thank you, Timurlen, for that. I want to go ahead and just ask one question initially here. Could you then state where was it that you actually, for your exchange program, where were you staying at?
Oh, I was the West Coast gang in Oregon, Astoria Park, Seaside Astoria Park, which was really fun to me. Well, I wasn't only there. I've been to Colorado, Denver. I've been to Seattle, Washington. Yeah, but mainly I lived in the Astoria, Oregon.
Right. And what about the the impacts that it's had on you now? I mean, doing this program, as a high school student, what kind of impact has this had now on you going forward?
Yeah, this is a really good question. Thank you. The main impact that I've had from my exchange year is that Americans are a total different country with a total different culture than in Kazakhstan. In America, it is like you have to be polite, you have to smile, you have to be good to others. While in Kazakhstan, well, I will say that's like a cultural thing. Everybody just goes to the gloomy faces. But here I started like smiling to everyone. I started being good. I started being really super polite. And I actually see how people change around me in that way. Now all the people around me do the same. And I really like that I'm populating the kindness and spread the politeness around me. And the second one I would say is that Americans are, I won't say chill about life, but they just like do not worry about so many things, while people in Kazakhstan worry like about so much. Like for an American, let's say like a regular student, it doesn't matter where Kazakhstan is, what Kazakhstan is, and etc. While in Kazakhstan, when something happens in America, we're like, oh my god, like something terribly happened in America. While in America, they're like, well, it's a country. That's it.
Cool. So I guess one other question that I had for you as well then. What about, for the application process, maybe is there maybe like one or two pieces of advice that you would maybe provide to either other, high school students that are with us right now as participants, or maybe we do have a lot of also teachers as well that may be passing this information on to their students as well. Do you have maybe one or two pieces of advice for them in applying?
Yeah, the first and the main advice is to be patient, because the application process takes up to a year, and the patience is the key to that. The second one I would say is to be is to know how to show you in a good way, is to know how to write all of the good things, all of the accomplishments you've made in life just in one paper. Like try to write an essay about yourself once a week, and try to put all of the things you've done in your entire life just in one paper. And this is like this was the key for me.
That's excellent advice. So, to be concise, to be specific and provide, like then their responses. So that's good advice. So thank you, Tamerlan, for sharing that. In our participants, if you guys have any questions for any of our speakers at any time, feel free to put those questions into the chat and we'll try to address and answer those questions the best that we can. We're going to go ahead and move on to our third speaker. Janat is joining us from Aktau, right? All right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's not snowing where you're at right now. Not like, I guess, out here in Nur-Sultan. So, Janat, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to you, and you can say a little bit about yourself and about your experience. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to see all of you. And I'm especially glad that honestly, the three experiences today are going to be so different. So I hope that everyone here, all the participants, will find something relevant. My name is Janat. I'm an educator, trainer, and researcher from Aktau. Currently, I am a director of Bölüm-Bernier Foundation. It's a non-governmental nonprofit based here in Aktau. And its mission is to empower and mobilize people of Kazakhstan through equitable and inclusive education. And I'm actually happy to see some people who were participants of our previous projects. I'm gonna share my presentation and talk to you a little bit about my experience in the US and share with you some tips. So you can see my presentation, right? If you can just nod. Yes, can you see my presentation? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I actually applied to a graduate degree, to a master's degree through Bolashak Scholarship. Bolashak Scholarship, as you probably all heard, is available to all Kazakhstani residents. And you can apply to Bolashak Scholarship after you complete your bachelor degree here in Kazakhstan. And you can apply for master's or PhD, or they have even more short-term programs like internships for those of you who work. I know that there is a stigma connected with Bolashak. People maybe still think that it's not accessible to all, but actually it is. It is accessible to all. You don't have to be rich to get the scholarship. And now the rules are even less strict, because before, when I myself applied, before you used to have a contract with your future employer after you come back and work there, but now you don't even have to do that. So you don't even have to be assigned to a certain institution. So it's, for me, in my opinion, it's a great opportunity for those of you who want to study in the US and then come back and contribute to the development of Kazakhstan. It's a great opportunity. So here you can see their website and their Instagram account. They have a lot of info sessions. So please consider it if you want to study in the US. I did my master's degree at NYU, New York University. It is a modern, great university. It's very urban. It's urban because it actually doesn't really have a campus. Its campus is New York City, like Greenwich Village in the center of Manhattan. It has so there is a park, Washington Square Park in Manhattan, and all the buildings around it are NYU buildings. I was also fortunate enough to attend 2 other institutions prior my master's degree because Bolashak has this great this great opportunity of a pre-master's program where you can get academically prepared to take graduate courses. They are short, but if your English level is actually high enough, you can skip that part. But I highly advise that you don't skip it and take pre-masters, because it's a great chance for you to visit those schools that you are planning to apply to. It's a great chance for you to be in the US while taking TOEFL and GRE. Those are some standardized tests that are required to be admitted to a US university. Now, I should mention that some of the universities are abandoning a requirement of a GRE, which is a very complicated test, to be honest. But if you do have it, especially with a high score, it will benefit your application very much. And TOEFL is, of course, or IELTS is, of course, a requirement. So as I said, I was fortunate enough to spend 3 months at Columbia University, also in New York, in Harlem, a part of New York. I had 3 months of advanced academic preparation, and also 3 months at Boston University. Yeah, it was great because I applied during my pre-master's program. I applied to 2 universities, those universities were one in New York and one in Boston. So I visited their info sessions, I met their faculty, I saw their campus, and I could visualize myself there. Okay, so, and I said that I'll be sharing with you some tips, right? And my first tip is, when going to a graduate degree, a graduate means master's or PhD, please have a clear research interest or a career goal in mind. The reason I'm saying that is because I had a very short gap between my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. While doing my master's degree, I thought, wow, it would have been great if after my bachelor's degree, I had a chance to work a little bit and to understand what I really want to do. So it would be really great if you have a clear career goal or a research interest, because honestly, most programs are 2-year programs in the US. Some programs are even one year programs. You have only time to culturally adapt, and you don't have time to have this philosophical time to reflect and to think what you want to research or what career you want to pursue. So please be prepared, and you will benefit greatly if you go prepared. Also, I want to mention that the US system differs greatly from Kazakhstani. And I know that because I did my bachelor's degree here in Kazakhstan. And another tip that I didn't put in writing is, please don't be annoyed when during your classes or lectures, you will hear a lot of your group mates speaking, because we are used to only listening to a teacher, but actually you can learn a lot from your group mates, because they are usually from different educational and geographical backgrounds. And those of you who are from the field of education, I have an extra advice. So in Kazakhstan, most of our programs are in teaching. But those of you who want to pursue, for example, policy, right? If you want to work in a Ministry of Education, or if you want to do research, as you know, if you are a researcher in Central Asia who does quantitative research and looks into why Kazakhstan is performing so poorly on such tests as PISA or TEAMS, or even our national test, Unified National Testing. If you are one of those researchers, you will be like very demanded because we don't have many researchers doing such work here in Central Asia. So if you are from the field of education, I highly recommend that you pursue something in research and policy, because we don't have many of those programs here in Kazakhstan. All right. Next, okay, yes. So I chose NYU, New York University, and I'm gonna be honest with you, studying in New York is not easy because you have a lot of distractions. First of all, like the city itself, like you of course want to explore the city because it's not every day that like you live in New York, so the city itself is very distracting because you want to explore it. There are so many amazing things to see. Like New York contains everything, honestly. You don't even have to travel the world. You just can live in New York and experience all you want. And also New York is culturally very rich. You have a great chances of cultural enrichment. They have Broadway shows, operas, theaters, and of course, it's great to explore that as well, especially that a lot of universities have huge discounts for students for those shows. And you think, I cannot afford it if I don't go now while I'm a student, and you try to go and see everything. This is an opera. There are a lot of, at any American university, I think there are a lot of conferences and a lot of events where educators can meet and discuss and like brainstorm. So those are really great. And there are a lot of such opportunities. In New York, there are a lot of TV shows are shot in New York. So actually you can go, it's free, and be there as an audience. Which I took an opportunity and went to a couple of shows and saw it being recorded. And like, I was told when to clap. I was told when to like yell. It's a great experience. The only disadvantage of this is that you have to go like really in the morning at 5 a.m. I think they shoot these shows really early in the morning. So yeah, but have a holistic experience, because as I think Aygerim said, it's not only your studies that are important, but actually like the whole experience is important. But do prioritize your studies, because you don't want to fail in an American university, because otherwise you'll have to retake the courses, and they have a credit system. So retaking courses costs money. And of course, Bolashak does not allow that. You have to maintain a high GPA in order to be eligible for your scholarship. So do all that, but you need to have a really good planning skills where you plan, but you prioritize as well. And also, I would urge you to take advantage of university resources and conduct a research. After my master's degree, I actually worked at a Kazakhstani university, and I was disappointed to know that there are not so many research resources here. For example, in my master's degree, I studied SPSS and Stata. Those are some great statistical analysis tools, but I unfortunately lost those skills because I could not apply them here at my work. So please take advantage of all the resources and conduct the research, because actually the faculty, as I found out, faculty of an American university are usually very approachable, and they especially would be interested in your perspectives, because believe me, they do not see many students from Central Asia. and they would actually, I think, love to collaborate with you. So I'm gonna finish with my with a photo from my graduation. So 2 years I spent on my master's degree, another 6 months before that I spent doing my pre-masters, and then I had an option after graduation. I could stay in the US for optional practical training, or otherwise known as OPT. Optional practical training is a legal way for a US university graduate to stay and work in the US. You can apply, and I think 99.9% of applications are actually approved. So it's a great opportunity for you to like challenge yourself and to try to work in the US. If you are from humanities field, you are allowed to stay for 1 year and work. But if you are from the STEM field, you can stay up to 3 years and work in the US. I think it's a great opportunity. But I decided, since I studied on money of Kazakhstani taxpayers, I decided to come back and to actually contribute to Kazakhstan. So I came back to, here I wanted to test your memory before I reveal where I came back. So who remembers what city of Kazakhstan am I from? You can just put in the chat or yell out, except August. So where am I from?
From Aktau.
Oh yes, I think the person who said that is also from Aktau, because she said
I'm from Kuzmarda.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, I'm from Aktau. So I decided to come back to Aktau, and I always like to tease people like August or residents of Nur-Sultan with a photo of a warm Aktau. Yes, I came back to Aktau, and I worked at Yesenov University. With them, I had a contract. I held, throughout 3 years that I worked there, I held various leadership positions. I started as a department chair of World Languages Department. At some point, I was a head of HR, and my last position there was an acting dean. But now I actually, I couldn't work there for too long, or to be honest, because to answer August's question to Tamerlan, what was the impact of American education? Actually, the impact for me was, the reason it was difficult for me to work at a regional Kazakhstani university was that I used to seeing in the US that students were very, very valued. Like everything was around the student, because without the student, there is no university, right? Without their tuition fees. But here, unfortunately, it was difficult for me to see that students were not valued as much. Their success and their performance and their general well-being was not a priority. They had different priorities, the whole system. Of course, it motivates me to work and to fix it, but I decided to do it for my own mental health. I decided to do it from outside the university. And I found it in 2019, I founded Bilim Berniye Foundation. As I said earlier, we are based here in Aktau, and we do various projects. Maybe some of you participated in media literacy project that we did. We trained over 500 teachers for free. We are a non-profit organization, so all we do is free usually, because we have good donors. And now we are doing a clean air project. We are creating a quality content in the Kazakh language, quality relevant content about clean air. And then we implement it at universities and schools. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. If you have, please follow us at Bilim Berniye. It's our Instagram, because we, as I said, have a lot of free opportunities for students, teachers, and generally people who are interested in self-development. I put our Instagram account in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about how to apply or anything.
All right. Well, thank you, Janat, for that information. It was very insightful and very inspiring to see, that the work that you've been doing in Kazakhstan, and using the experience that you gained, the perspective, that you gained, and putting it to good use, and really, trying to be an agent of change. And that's something that, as an English language fellow, I really try to, facilitate a lot of development and opportunities for the wonderful people of Kazakhstan, whether they're students or professionals. And seeing the things that you've been doing, it's really incredible. And you've been really reaching a lot of people. And, the Mangistau region's very lucky to have you, but I know that your reach extends beyond Mangistau. So I know you got a lot of great things. So I definitely encourage everyone to follow Bill and Barnier in their Instagram account for those opportunities that Janat mentioned. Let me check, see if we got any other questions in the chat, guys. So if you guys have some other questions you want to throw at any of our guest speakers, again, Igrim over in Georgia right now, the U.S. state of Georgia, not the country of Georgia, but our FLTA in Georgia right now, or Timurlen, our Flex alumnus member who studied in Oregon through the exchange program there as a high school student, or for Janat. Any questions for them?
I would like to thank Janat for that awesome presentation. It was very engaging. It was very fulfilled with good experiences, good speech also. I have a question. So you mentioned that after returning from master's degree, so if I understood clearly, you have studied 2 years. Yeah. How did you cope with cultural shock, or in general, have you had a cultural shock after returning from US? So as you mentioned that for your mental health, you decided to leave your job at university. So what influenced you to leave your job, and how did you cope with cultural shock?
Thank you so much for your question. I will answer that, and then I see a couple of questions in the chat as well. So about cultural shock when coming back, I actually, after coming back, I was so overwhelmed with work that I didn't have time to be shocked. But I just noticed that I started noticing some things that I didn't before. We are so used to our surroundings that we do. I think a lot of people, I highly encourage you to use any opportunity and spend some time abroad, because it's good for you and it's good for our country. You start seeing things that you'd never noticed before. For example, I started noticing that a lot of buildings are not accessible for people with disability, for example. Again, like a lot of things that I thought was wrong, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to cope with the cultural shock, but I was motivated to do something about it. So whenever I could, I tried, especially when I was teaching, I tried to affect minds of our students and talk to them about some of values that are important, but unfortunately are not conveyed in our education. For example, gender equality, or like diversity and inclusion. So yeah, well, I'm sorry I didn't answer your question. Yelizaveta has a question about Clean Air project, right? Yelizaveta, or are you raising your hand for another question?
Thank you very much. Yes, the same question, the last project that you mentioned.
So our Clean Air project, we are doing it together with Eko Mangistau, another NGO here in Mangistau, but it's a project for the whole Kazakhstan. So actually it's, we right now are creating an online course. It's in the Kazakh language, but we'll have Russian subtitles as well. We are creating a course in the Kazakh language about clean air, about air pollution, how we can prevent it, about all that. It's a 5-module course. We don't have such courses in the Kazakh language. So we are now creating the course. After that, we'll be training teachers, university teachers from across Kazakhstan and school teachers from Mangistau region. And then we want to implement this course as an elective course at universities. So if anyone who is interested, follow us on Instagram and we'll tell you when the training part will start. Thank you for your question, Elizaveta.
Definitely. Thank you for that information, Janat. What I'm going to do actually, because we're kind of at our mark here for our time, I would like for all of us actually to be able to take a group photo to remember this great celebration of international education and opportunities. So I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and turn on your cameras. If you got your son or your daughter, your niece, your nephew, or your cat or your dog on your lap, that's no problem. Go ahead and turn on your cameras. We're all one big happy family here through American Corners, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and take a few shots because we have many participants. So we have actually a few screens in my gallery view. So I'll let you guys know. So I'm gonna give you another moment just to turn on your cameras. And let's go ahead and we'll everybody give a thumbs up to international education, right? Thumbs up to international education, all right? I'm gonna count to 3 and take the picture. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right, hold on, let me take one more. Okay, I'm gonna flip to the next one. So again, 1, 2, 3. All right, okay. Okay, all right. Thank you guys, all right. There we go. So that way, again, I just wanna thank our 3 wonderful guest speakers tonight, Aigerim, Timurlen, Janat, really a wealth of experience, very different pathways, but honestly, the thing about it though is, again, each and every one of you was a cultural ambassador representing Kazakhstan to Americans, a very important job. And each one of you, you know, has brought that back to have your own impact in some shape, way, or form. And there's a lot more to come. I know of it. And it's a multiplier effect. And the effect you have on others, they can in turn have that effect on others as well. And that's the beauty of this great collaboration between our 2 great countries of the US and Kazakhstan. So again, just want to thank everybody. I know you guys probably have more questions, but we're going to have to go and wrap it up. I know Aigerim, she has some lessons. It's morning time for her over there in the US. So I think she has very important stuff to do here. So we're going to go ahead and let everyone go. But again, thank you guys very much. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, august.garnsey, or feel free to reach out to me via Gmail at august.garnsey@gmail.com for any other further questions or anything else as well. I look forward to the next webinar. Stay tuned. There should be another webinar next week. Pretty cool one. More details to come soon. Again, everyone have a great night. Also have a good morning. Aigerim, have a good morning. Everyone else have a good night. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone.